Let's talk about the importance of regulating your nervous system and various ways in how to do it. So why is it important to regulate your nervous system, and what does it even mean? Well, you may have heard this already, you may have seen this in another video, but in short, regulating your nervous system simply means balancing yourself out. When we are in conditions of high stress, and even over periods of time of chronic stress, we can get stuck in that place that we call fight or flight. It's also the sympathetic part of the nervous system. Well, it's the sympathetic part of the autonomic nervous system. And then there's the parasympathetic part of the autonomic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is not something that we want to get rid of. We need it. Of course, it's the part of our nervous system which activates us for various things, like we go into fight or flight because we need energy, digestion stops, we're ready to fight or flight, but occasionally people can also freeze and fawn in when they get triggered or activated in that way. But what happens over a period of time is we can get stuck there. So we need to balance it out by activating our parasympathetic nervous system. And one of the best ways to do that is by stimulating our vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve, I believe. I think it's the 10th. And it goes from the base of the skull all the way down the sides here, and then through the center, down the spine, all the way to the pelvic floor. And now along the spine, there are actually nerve bundles that are connected to the vagus nerve, which can help us relax very quickly. And that is why you hear a lot of people telling you to do deep breathing, because it really is one of the fastest ways to calm yourself down. And so when we say regulating your nervous system, and when we say stimulating your vagus nerve, and when we say activating your parasympathetic nervous system, it's all the same thing. What you're doing is calming yourself down and bringing your body into what we call homeostasis. Not sure if you remember that or not. I remember that from middle school biology class. And homeostasis is where everything is balanced, right? Now, when we are in homeostasis, that is when the body can do the repairs that it needs to do. All of the systems start to function normally, because they don't when we become activated from stress. And it stops the production of cortisol, which is really important, because as you know, when you are in chronic stress or even trauma, and chronic stress can become trauma, the body constantly pumps out cortisol. Now, this can exhaust your adrenal glands. So if you've ever heard that phrase, adrenal fatigue, that's an example of it. When you're under so much stress, your body is producing too much cortisol, and it's the adrenal glands that produce the cortisol. So that kind of cortisol also affects your immune system. It can lead to so many other kinds of health issues. And there's literally a laundry list of medical issues that people can get just from the body being under so much stress. And nowadays we're seeing it a lot more in the media, that really the number one killer is stress, because stress messes with your whole body. It can cause heart disease, it can lead to diabetes, fibromyalgia. It can affect your immune system and make you more susceptible to autoimmune disorders. There are so many health problems that can occur. So we want to regulate our nervous system regularly. And if you're a trauma survivor, or even just someone who lives in chronic stress, the way to do this is to regulate your nervous system multiple times a day, every day, until you start feeling better, basically. And then when you start to feel better, continue to do that, maybe not as much. But the thing here is, you only need to spend a few minutes at a time doing it. So you can practice some of these nervous system regulation activities for anywhere from 2 minutes to 5 minutes. You can also spend more time if you're enjoying the activity, and honestly, a lot of these activities are easy and fun as well. So let me go over a list. I actually picked 10 for you today. There are more, but I decided to choose the 10 that I think are the most accessible, and it's enough of a variety that I'm certain you'll find at least one, if not 4 or 5 that you'll enjoy. So first one on the list is a yoga pose called child's pose. Child's pose simply means folding yourself up into a little ball and placing your forehead on your mat and just breathing for a few minutes. I'll include a clip so you can see what it looks like and how it's demonstrated. So let me show you how to do child's pose. Child's pose is the best. It's so easy and it's so relaxing. So in its purest state, child's pose is simply lowering the body, folding yourself up, come down to the mat. You can place your forehead on the mat. That's actually the part that helps to relax the brain and to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And you can just come down to the mat and you can stay like this. You can take the arms in front or you can lay them by your side. We call this embryo. And just staying here for a few minutes is definitely enough to help calm you and help you feel relaxed. Now, if that is too much, because we all have different bodies, and for some people that may not be super duper relaxing, and I get it, okay? Now, if one of the issues is you can't come all the way to the floor, you can maybe bring a block and rest your head on the block. That will give you more height. Another issue that I've heard is for some people, just sitting back on their knees can stress out the knees. So in that case, you'll take a blanket, you can fold it or roll it up even bigger if you want to. And this actually creates a little bit of space in the front of the knee. And you can put the blanket here and then come down. You can also do a combination, maybe this and the block. I don't know, it's up to you. So I encourage you to play around with it and just see which one works for you. Now, I know not everybody has equipment, I get that. So this is not for you if you don't have a bolster, but if you have a bolster, this is so great. So I have lint all over the place from my new blankets and stuff. If you have a bolster, you can actually just widen the knees a little bit, put the bolster between your knees, and that's it. Or you can bring your arms in front, lower the forehead. Or, I love options. If you take any of my yoga classes, you'll see that I like to give a lot of variations so that everybody feels like they can access a pose. This can go under your forehead so that your nose doesn't get squished. And that's it. Now, if you don't have a bolster, but you would like something like a bolster, you could actually just take a bed pillow, fold it in half lengthwise, and then take that folded pillow and roll it up in a bath towel or a blanket. I like to call it a blanket burrito. So it's like you're making this little burrito, and that can actually have the same effect as bolster. You can even get creative with couch cushions. So I highly recommend making a bolster if you can't buy one. And if you do decide to buy one, find them on sale because sometimes they can be really expensive. So that's child's pose, super easy, you got this. The second one on my list is another yoga pose. I'm not biased or anything, but it's called legs up the wall. So being able to elevate your hips higher than your heart is a wonderful way to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Now this can be done on the wall, but it can also be done next to a sofa if you don't have access or space to lay your legs up the wall. So you can conceivably just do it on the couch and just kind of flop your legs over on the cushion while you're on the floor. So just watch this clip and you'll see how to do that. Legs up the wall is really, really easy. All you need is a blanket. That's it. If you want, you can do it in other ways as well, but this is basically the first thing that you need. I'll show you how to use a bolster as well, but let's do it with the blanket first. So basically, you just come up against the wall. Here, I've got this thing in the way. Not a big deal. I can kind of go around it. And basically I'm just going to sit on my blanket first. And then I will, oh so gracefully, just turn my body around carefully. And as you can see, my legs are indeed up the wall. So there's no big special fancy thing to do at this point. You can lay here and you can have your arms out by your sides. You can have them on your belly, on your chest, wherever you'd like. Have them outstretched, whatever you want. I personally like to keep my hands on my belly. And from here, that you do nothing. Just relax and maybe start to pay attention to your breath. That's one nice thing to do, and you're allowing your body to relax. So just this simple act of having your legs up the wall can help you relax very quickly. This is especially helpful if, for example, if you drive to work and you have a stressful commute. Even if you don't drive, even if it was just a rough day, you come home, do this for maybe 5 minutes. You'll feel so relaxed and so much better. And then to come out, you can either twist back around, or I like to just maybe roll over to one side and come out of it that way. Pretty simple. Now, if you would like, you can just as easily, if you have one of these, not everybody has a bolster, it's totally okay if you don't. If you have one, you can put your hips up on a bolster, and that feels really nice too. Or you could even just use a block and put this underneath your sacrum, which is basically the lower back, okay? It's a sort of a triangular piece at the base of the spine. So that's it. That's legs up the wall. Super easy, right? The third way to regulate your nervous system is so easy. It might not even make any sense to you, but it does work and it does help. And this is to make important social connections. Now, this isn't just any, these are important social connections. And what this means is to meet with and connect with people who make you feel happy and healthy and calm. So when we are around other people, believe it or not, we can affect each other's nervous systems too. So it's called co-regulating. So if you spend time with a friend whose company you enjoy very much, whether you're having fun or they just have a calming effect, you just feel good around them, spend more time with them. And eventually what happens is you co-regulate, and then you both feel pretty good. Number 4 is one that I'm sure you've heard many times, and that's diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing is simply breathing through your belly. That's where your diaphragm is, and that is one that is very effective and extremely quick. You can probably regulate your nervous system in as little as 60 seconds by practicing this breathing technique. All it takes is for you to extend your exhalations. So while you start doing this breathing, you'll start breathing through your belly, and you can start by counting, and you'll count how long your inhalations take, and then as you exhale, you'll start to purposely slow yourself down so that your exhalation is longer. So let's say that your inhalation ends up being a count of 5, then see if you can get your exhalation to go to a count of 7. It's not super complicated. Don't overthink it. You're just counting. Inhale, exhale, 1, 2, think in your head, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, exhale. So that's a very fast way, and especially if you're having a lot of anxiety and you get triggered or you're having an emotional flashback, diaphragmatic breathing is very accessible and very simple. The 5th one on my list is a type of meditation. Now, I know that meditation is not easy for everyone to get into, especially beginners, especially when you have so much going on in your mind that you just get so distracted and you just can't sit down to do it. So what I recommend is what's called mantra meditation. And all that is simply repeating a mantra, which is a word or a phrase in your head as you meditate. So basically you'll sit in a chair or on your mat or wherever you want to be. You can sit on your sofa, have your feet on the floor, and as you're inhaling and exhaling, it's best to have your eyes closed, but if for any reason that makes you uncomfortable, you can simply lower your gaze, and that will keep out all of the external stimulation, all of the visual stimulation, and you'll still be able to do it. So once you're in this space where your eyes are either closed or lowered and you start to breathe, just bring your awareness to your breath at first. Now you'll find thoughts will come in. That is normal. The goal of meditation is never to stop your thoughts. The goal of meditation is to help you slow them down and maybe refocus yourself, right? So that's why we always say, come back to your breath, come back to your breath. I'm sure you've heard that phrase many times, especially if you've taken yoga classes. Well, meditation is a type of yoga practice as well. It's one of the 8 limbs of yoga. Anyway, as you are inhaling and exhaling, pick a word or phrase. It can be anything. The first time I did this, I used the word love because I just thought that was easy and that was what I came up with. So you simply breathe and think in your mind, love, love, love. And that gives you something to focus your mind on. Now, maybe one word is too short. Maybe you want to think of something a little bit more, like a phrase. You know, you can even narrate your breath. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. That's another type of mantra meditation. So anything at all, anything that you want. I would suggest picking something that you don't mind saying over and over again, you know, because you'll end up going through that mantra probably 150 to 100 times. So pick something that you'll enjoy. You might even take it as an opportunity to plant more positive thoughts in your head, like, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love. Something like that could be really helpful as well. Number 6 is also related to diaphragmatic breathing, and that is humming, chanting, singing, gargling, believe it or not, and deep, loud belly laughing. So as you can imagine, all of these things involve the diaphragm. And all of these things will cause your exhale to be longer than your inhale. So just think about that for a minute. When you're singing, you inhale, and then you extend the exhalation by hitting that note, right? Chanting is the same, like I've already mentioned. And so even if you are in a group, some people like to, sing with other people and join choruses. Some people just like singing to themselves. So think about how good that feels, right? I don't know about you, but I love singing. I've been singing my whole life. I actually used to sing in bands too because I liked it so much. So for me, that's a really easy one. I can stop and give myself some time to sing any time of the day. And it doesn't matter if you're good. You don't have to be good. You can it's singing for yourself. If singing is something that you enjoy, I recommend doing it because it's something you're doing for you. And there's no judgment, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Having said that, if you still feel like you don't want to actually sing, hum. Humming does the same thing. And again, like I said, the other options are gargling, which I think is kind of silly, but people do it and they enjoy it. And then the deep belly laughing. So maybe just rent a really funny movie and invite a friend, because it's actually even funnier when you have a friend nearby, and just let yourself laugh. Number 7 on my list is very similar to what is well known now as the Wimhof method. Now, the Wimhof method has been very successful for a lot of people. And the reason for that is because these activities actually activate the vagus nerve as well. So his method, well, there's some breathing as well, but the big thing with the Wimhof method is cold water. He actually has people pay him an inordinate amount of money to jump into freezing cold lakes. I'm going to give you a little secret. I'm going to share this little secret with you. No one has to be jumping into freezing cold lakes. There is absolutely no reason to. And you don't even have to take a cold shower, because that's the other version of it. He tells people that if you don't have access to a really cold body of water, start your day with a really, really cold shower. Just put it on full blast cold. I don't know about you, but that just doesn't work for me. There's just no way I'm going to do it. If you want to do it, power to you. I think that you are amazing. And you should pat yourself on the back for that. But I'm going to give you a shortcut in case you don't want to go that far. You can actually put some ice cubes in a sink and fill it with water and make the water really cold and splash your face for about a minute or two. And that does the exact same thing. You will immediately calm down. It's a wonderful way to regulate your nervous system. It's very quick and very effective, and you do not have to travel anywhere and pay anyone thousands of dollars to do it. Not to put Wimhof down, but just saying. All these things you can do for free. Number 8 on my list is one that I enjoy very much, and it's simply being in nature. Now, you can just be in the woods, you can go to the ocean, the mountains, wherever you like to be, but there's something about being in nature that actually just brings our body rhythm to where it needs to be. It's like a reset. So if you've ever noticed, just a walk in the woods with a friend can make you just feel so good and amazing. So imagine doing that every day. If you live somewhere where you have access to a beautiful natural spot, take advantage of it, and maybe even combine it with one of the other ones which we talked about, which is to make a positive social connection. So call this friend that you love hanging out with, who makes you feel happy and calm, and walk in the woods with them, or take a trip to the beach. So just being in nature, believe it or not, is enough to regulate your nervous system. Our body resonates with the energy. I don't know how to explain it any more than that, but it just does. It resonates with the energy of nature, which is where we need to be. Number 9 is kind of interesting, and it really helps if you are in a crowded space. Now, to be fair, you can probably do your diaphragmatic breathing in a public space, like if you're on the subway or a bus or something like that. You can probably do that without people really noticing. But an even easier thing to do without people noticing is to stroke your lips. I have a little bit of lip balm on, so I'm not going to touch mine, but just stroking the front of your mouth. We have nerve endings in our lips that actually go right to the vagus nerve. Like, they just activate the vagus nerve, and that activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So you could be sitting in class or listening to a lecture and just like, interesting, and just kind of stroke your lips and see if that starts to help you relax a little bit and calm down. Number 10 is the butterfly hug. There are a couple of ways to do this. One of them is more for grounding, but it also calms you down, and that is to put one hand underneath your arm and the other one on top, and to just hold yourself. Basically, you're just hugging yourself. This is a wonderful way to help you get grounded and to help you calm down. But another version of this is the butterfly hug, and that is to just stroke your arms very gently, and this will help you to feel calm. What this also does is what's called bilateral stimulation, and it helps to heal the brain as well. Now, another little trick to this, which is actually related to EMDR, is if you close your eyes and stroke your arms and think of a beautiful place that you've been, or a beautiful place that you can imagine going to. It can be whatever you want. It can be a place that you may never get to visit, but you know what it looks like. I'll pick Hawaii just for fun because it's amazing. And you can just imagine yourself there and imagine all the beautiful things you're seeing, the breeze on your skin, the sun on your skin, the ocean waves. You can just really immerse yourself in these thoughts. And this is a wonderful way to program positive thoughts into your mind. And then in the future, if you get dysregulated and you need to re-regulate, you can even just stop and do this, and you can actually bring yourself to that place, or it'll just help calm you immediately. So those are my 10 nervous system regulation activities that you can do for free anytime on your own. And most of these can be done anywhere as well. So I hope you found these helpful, and if you do find these helpful, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button. I try to upload twice a week, if not once, and I love to talk about yoga and self-care, as well as trauma healing and self-healing. So thanks again for joining me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.